I started my self-improvement journey to be more attractive to girls. I have the balls to admit it. You should too. Don't lie to yourself, bro. You're trying to improve your life so you can be more attractive to the opposite sex. Don't even lie to me, man. Oh, I'm on monk mode. Oh, I'm just focused on myself. Women are this, women are that. Shut up, bro. Shut up. The longer you lie to yourself, the longer it'll take you to get your results. Because I can tell you this. I can tell you this. Because I've been on all sides of the spectrum. I've been a degenerate, and now I would say I'm doing pretty decent for myself. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm getting there. I'm making progress each and every day. And I can tell you, dating, it's a skill set. It's something you have to practice, right? That's why some people are better at it than others, because they simply go on dates, they talk to girls, they practice this skill set. And if you work in sales, there's actually a scary amount of overlap. Like the principles are almost the exact same, because at the end of the day, it's just human psychology and human nature. So you figure out a lot of the principles to each other overlap. But if you're in sales, you know that it takes a while to get good at it. You got to make a lot of phone calls. You got to make a lot of follow-ups. You got to go on a lot of appointments, right? And then things finally start to click as you get more repetitions in. So doing this whole oh, I'm on monk mode, I'm just focused on myself thing, it's just cope, because you know that you're not attractive and you can't face the fact that if you try and talk to girls or you try and ask them out, that things aren't going to go the way you want them to. But what if I told you that that's partly due to the fact that you're just stuck in your own head, right? Obviously, I'm not going to lie to you. As you become handsome, as you level up your life, as you become the man you're truly capable of, which all of you are, dating will get easier. Now, I know I said from the start that my whole self-improvement journey, me starting to go to the gym, getting my diet right, dressing nice, getting my hair cut, all that, the original motivator was to attract women. But as I matured, as I've gotten deeper in my journey, as I've actually improved my dating life, the motivators switched. Obviously, I still want to be attractive to girls. I want to actually pursue a relationship now. I've reached that point where I do want a girlfriend. I want someone by my side, a nice little sidekick, someone who's the passenger princess, whatever, right? And I've worked on myself to the point to where I can attract that girl. It's just a matter of who that girl is, right? I have options, I have abundance. And that's what happens when you work on yourself. You become very attractive and magnetic to where women just naturally kind of come to you. Now, I'm not just saying they fall out of the sky and land in your lap. No, that's not what I'm saying. And anyone who tells you, oh, once you work on yourself, they just automatically come. No. Cut that garbage. Cut that bullshit. That's not how it works. But as you work on yourself, you become, more handsome. Because I'm not going to lie, looks is one of the most important factors, because that's what's going to get you in the door at the end of the day. You're going to get a lot of choosing signals from girls. Girls are going to check you out. Girls are going to admire you. If you have a nice Instagram profile or a dating app, you're going to get a lot of matches. A lot. More than you know what to do with. Now that I've kind of gone over all this, I kind of want to go about what was life like from the start? What was it like when I started out this whole self-improvement journey? So let's go back to 2021. This was right after lockdown, world started opening up again. People were finally coming to their senses. It was around Christmas time, and one of my friends was going to host a Christmas party, and they're all texting in the group chat. They're like, hey, we're going to host a Christmas party. There's going to be girls there. Be there. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to be there. Because remember, my main motivator, girls. And I got really excited because we'd been in lockdown. I hadn't talked to a female in almost a year and a half at this point. So I'm excited. I'm hyped up. I'm like, I'm going to talk to girls. And I go to the barber. I want to look nice. I go to the barber. I get this whack-ass haircut, bro. I get a high drop fade. There's a ton of length on the top. It didn't look good. But in my mind, I was confident. I thought I looked good. And that sometimes is all that matters, right? Sometimes it's just solely how you feel. But you don't want to look stupid. So Disregard what I just said about that. I looked stupid. And, I go to the mall. I go to H&M. I'm like buying some new clothes because I want like a nice outfit for the party. Even though it's like an ugly Christmas sweater party, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna look the best here. So I buy like these like black ripped jeans and like a white t-shirt, and I already had a denim jacket, so I throw that on and like some white sneakers. Not the coolest outfit in the world. I definitely wouldn't wear that nowadays, but at the time it was kind of trendy, so it didn't really matter, right? Like, it was cool for the time. Definitely wouldn't dress like that now, though. Anyways, got my haircut, I got the fresh fade, got the outfit on. And I want you to keep in mind, during this time, so it was lockdown, and I was powerlifting at the time. And if you know anything about powerlifters, their whole thing is eat big to get big, weight moves weight kind of thing, just mindlessly bulk. And I became pretty fat during this period of time. Like, I was probably about 15, maybe 20 pounds overweight. And it definitely showed. My face was really round and puffy. I didn't really have any facial features. Just really didn't look presentable to the human race. Skin was pretty crusty too. My stomach was flopping over my belt loops. I had love handles. I kind of had I didn't really have like man boobs, but my chest was kind of like puffy and soft looking. And it was pretty noticeable in clothes. I could kind of hide it when I wore like that denim jacket, but you could still kind of see my belly going over my pants. But I was completely unaware of this at the time because I was like, oh, I'm powerlifting, I'm bulking, like I look great, I'm big, Bullshit. I was delusional. But anyways, I roll up to this party, and I'm like shooting the shit with my friends. I'm like, oh yeah, girls are gonna be here, yeah. All excited. And the doorbell rings. And a group of girls, they walk in. There's like 3 or 4 of them, something like that. And they're all like saying hi to my friends, hugging each other, talking to them. And then this is when I come in. I walk up to one of the girls and I go for a hug because they were hugging everyone else. And she literally put her hand out and was like, no, and like backed off and was like, whoa, no, we're not. Like, and she stuck her hand out to shake my hand when she hugged everyone else. And the other 2 girls did that too. That was fucking humiliating. That destroyed me inside. That destroyed me. I felt so undesirable, so unattractive, because I was so confused. They were hugging everyone else, talking to everyone else, and they didn't even want to speak to me. They shook their hand out to me like it was a fucking business appointment. Like, that just made me feel like shit, man. And I wish I had a screenshot to show you guys, but immediately after the party, I went home and I like went on Reddit and I like typed this like massive post. I posted in like several different like subreddits, like r/self-improvement, r/men's self-improvement, r/ask men, like all these different stupid fucking subreddits, just venting. I was like, I went to the barber, I got my hair cut, I went to H&M, bought clothes, and like, I looked presentable, I did my skincare routine, yada. But I was like completely deluded and couldn't like actually be self-aware of the fact that it was, sure, I was putting effort into my style, but when you're overweight and you're not very attractive, right, it doesn't really matter what you wear, what haircut you got, you're just not gonna look your best. Not gonna look your best. So I was probably like a 4.5, 5 out of 10, right? Pretty average looking, arguably invisible to the human race. Now, I had periods of time where I looked much worse than I did during this time, but I definitely didn't look good during this time, right? And the point I'm trying to make with this whole story is 2 things. One is that looks will highly dictate how women treat you. Looks highly dictate how women treat you. They absolutely make it easier. It allows you to get your foot in the door. If you're not attractive, you're gonna pretty much fight an uphill battle. And I learned this as I actually dialed in my looks. As I dialed in my looks, dating's just kind of become on autopilot, right? I get girls DMing me, go on dating apps, get plenty of matches. Girls are always giving me choosing signals. Like, it's pretty easy now. Pretty easy. And you'll experience something similar as you work on yourself. But the problem is, if you only focus on looks and you don't focus on talking to girls, right? Because remember what I said, dating's a skill set. You have to practice it. It's kind of like sales. The more reps you get, the better you improve at it. And because, I would kind of, at points I would kind of lie to myself. I know I said the original intentions were to attract women, but it got to a point where I'd kind of lie to myself and say, oh, I'm just focusing on myself, women, blah, ugh. I wasn't really focusing on improving that skill set. I wasn't talking to girls. I wasn't putting myself in social environments. In fact, I became very self-isolated because, as I said, I wasn't very attractive, and the world was treating me much differently than they do now, right? People didn't take me serious. People didn't respect me. And it's because I didn't simply respect myself, because I wasn't attractive. I was overweight. My skin was bad, and my body language was poor. My social skills weren't. I had very low social IQ. And because of that, I wasn't, practicing my social skills. I wasn't trying to talk to girls. I wasn't going on dates. And once I actually mastered my self-image and became handsome, and girls started, giving me the time of day, actually, expressing interest in me before I even could make a move on them, something some of you guys haven't experienced yet, I would go on dates with these girls. And the dates just didn't go well, right? So I've told this story before. I attracted this girl, very attractive, basically what I would describe as my dream girl, and she was very, very into me leading up to the date. She really wanted to go out with me. She was very excited to meet me. And when it was actually time for us to go on the date, it was just really, really awkward because sure, I was handsome, but I just didn't have the social skills or much experience talking to women. And she could pick up on that, right? She's kind of like, why is this guy so handsome, but like he lacks confidence, he's struggling to hold eye contact with me. Why is he just kind of socially off? Now, she didn't directly say that to me, but that's what was going on in her mind, which can raise a bit of concern and maybe even red flags with girls, right? And because of that, after the text, that high interest she had immediately went down. It went down. And I knew it went down too, but I couldn't admit it to myself, and it was really fucking with my head, not gonna lie. So I became really needy and desperate around her, right? Because I really wanted to make it work. She was my dream girl, right? And, she could pick up on the neediness, the desperation. She was taking like 2 days to respond to my text now versus the responding instantly beforehand. And that was just messing with me. And I basically overreacted and called her out, which is something you should never do. Never do that. If a girl's not interested in you, just move on, bro. You can keep her in the sales pipeline. You can keep her in the sales pipeline as a lead, but just prioritize other girls that are actually expressing higher interest in you, and just go, how things feel. But I made the mistake of not doing that and getting overreactive, needy, desperate, and just making the situation worse. And we got in a big argument, which was my fault, by the way. It was my fault, and it totally killed the vibe. She wanted nothing to do with me anymore, and I never heard from her or saw her again because I was a dumbass, right? And I could have prevented all of this. I could have prevented all of this if I actually practiced talking to girls, if I went on more dates, if I practiced cold approach, texting girls, whatever. Or even just basic human interactions, right? Really just my social skills in general were pretty subpar. And it was because I was just, hyper fixated on dialing in my physique, improving my facial features, getting a better haircut, dressing nice, which are all important. Like I said, that gets you in the door. That earns the respect of others without having to toot your own horn. But when you only focus on that, you're missing out on the big scheme of things, your personality, your charisma, your sense of humor, all these desirable traits that actually keep the girl. So don't make the mistake of being one of these guys who's like, oh, I'm only focused on myself. I'm on monk mode. Women are this. Women will just naturally come. Because sure, maybe they will naturally come, but you're not going to know how to conduct yourself around these girls, and you're going to totally kill the vibe, and it's going to kill your self-confidence. And you're going to be like, what did I do wrong? I focused on myself. I listened to all these gurus, monk mode. Don't waste your time, bro. It's much better to focus on everything. It's about being as well-rounded as possible. You know, you could have all the looks, but if you don't have the money or the social skills, what's the point? Or maybe you got the money, but you don't got the looks or the charisma or whatever. You know, I'd much rather you be 80 to 90% of the way there in all aspects than be 100% there in one or two aspects, right? It's about being as well-rounded as possible. You want to maximize all aspects of your life because everything matters. It's not about being the master at one thing. It's about being the jack of all trades, right? This is what actually makes you attractive, and people won't tell you this. They're like, oh, once you get handsome, girls will just, it's like, shut up, bro, shut up. Sure, you got laid once, but did you ever see that girl again? No, you didn't. So, focus on everything. Get your physique right. Get your looks right. Get your style on point. Become well-groomed. Get your money right. Find a job that pays well. Work 2 jobs if you have to. I recommend you work a sales job because that'll actually indirectly improve your social skills. Remember what I said? There's a ton of overlap between dating and sales. Like a scary amount of overlap. And, you know, sales got me really, really good at conversating with people because you just are constantly cold calling or hopping on sales calls or going on appointments, door knocking, whatever. And it just instantly improves your social skills and your confidence, which will obviously make you more attractive, and it'll make you stand out against the other guys she's seen, right? Spoiler alert, you're not the only guy she's talking to. So that's why you want to maximize all aspects of your life, so it's a no-brainer for her to want to choose you over whoever else she's talking to. And if you want more help actually like dialing in all these different variables so you can become the 10 out of 10 man that you're capable of, because you're more than capable of reaching this point. I've done it. And if you know anything about my transformation, I was a literal degenerate. I mean, just go through a couple of my YouTube videos and you'll see what I used to look like, how far I've come along. And if you'd like to learn step by step how I made that transformation for myself and how I've helped other people too, you can actually book a call. It's the first link in the description of this video. And what we'll do is we'll hop on a call. We'll kind of see where you're at, what your goals are, and how we can help you master your self-image and your personality through dialing in your physique, figuring out your style, what haircut looks good on you, and, you know, how we can maximize your self-confidence, your self-belief, and ultimately, you know, just feel like you can dominate all areas of your life because of the confidence and social skills you've gained by exposing yourself to challenging situations, putting yourself in social environments, becoming the life of the party, that kind of thing. If you want to be that kind of man, right, because deep down inside, let's be real. You started your self-improvement journey because you wanted to be good with girls. You wanted a good network of friends, right? You didn't want to just be handsome and call it a day, right? You wanted the benefits that come with that, right? But a lot of guys, they dial in the looks and then they don't experience all the other aspects because they don't dial everything in. And if you want to become the 10 out of 10 well-rounded man you're truly capable of, click that link in the description of this video, or you can just shoot me a DM on Instagram if you'd like to learn more about my one-on-one coaching, my one-on-one mentorship. And we can talk from there, man. But if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video, bro.